Shout out to Dixie Whitey. I kid you not. This is this man's name. I will be following you as soon as I get through with this video. This man pretty much sums up race, white silence, all that type of stuff. And I just appreciate you because you're keeping it real about white people, even though you're white. When a lot of white people love to act like, racism doesn't exist anymore. So shout out to you, sir. Let's get it going.
About, 600 years ago, white supremacy wasn't really a thing. 600 years ago, it was just, there were human beings in the world. There were just people. Some from Africa, some from Europe, some from Asia. They're just people.
Let me just say this real fast, and I'm not going to interrupt him. Your head bigger than Mello's. You got a big marshmallow head. I'm just going to say it.
And then the Europeans began to go exploring. Their ships were able to go all over the world. And so they got greedy as fuck. And they had the musket. And 1455, the Roman Catholic Church made a law. And they split. They gave Portugal the right to the west coast of Africa. And they gave them the right to enslave Africans, to plunder them, to rape them, to rob them, and steal from anything they wanted from them. The Roman Catholic Church started the whole goddamn thing. And then, of course, they gave Spain the right to go out into the New World, conquer, steal gold, land, whatever they want to do, rape, murder. And that's exactly what they did. And that's exactly it. It started, over 500 years ago. Today's 2020, and this is 1455, and the first ship, 1526. The first slave ship from Portugal landed in Brazil. And the whole goddamn thing began. And that's how we got where we are. And so, why did white supremacy start? To justify the greed. Portugal and all these European, France, England, the Netherlands, the Dutch, all these people, the Europeans, decided to proclaim that white people were superior and therefore had the right to imperialize, to colonize, to steal and enslave and rape and murder. And all these things were justified in the name of white superiority, in that we can have dominance over all black and brown people by nature. That was the myth and the lie that was started to justify the European greed and evil. And that shit's been running for 500 fucking years. And here we are now, 2020. And white people are still a bunch of fucking white supremacists. Not a goddamn thing has changed. The only thing that's changed is the technology. You can see racism now.
Maybe y'all listen if it comes from another white person, because when we say it, we're just complaining and pulling the race card.
I saw a video of 25-year-old Amaud Arbery being hunted down, tracked, and lynched by 3 racists. That was a mob. That was a lynching. That's a felony lynching, which is against the law. Now it's against the law. It didn't used to be. The civil rights laws passed. There's something called felony lynching. It's a hate crime. And anyhow, he was murdered. By the way, Amaud Arbery was a hell of a warrior. He fought for his life, and he lost that day. But his mom said, I hope his killers get the death penalty. And I don't believe in the death penalty because our justice system's so fucked up. But in this case, let those motherfuckers fry.
Fry.
Because without accountability, without white accountability, without racist accountability, this shit will repeat itself. So there has to be accountability applied to all racists. And I mean all forms, the covert, the overt, the passive.
Yep.
The thing, and I've said this many times before, but here we are. And that's the whole thing about white supremacy, is it all comes down to greed. It's economics and privilege and dominance. That's what that's what this nation, America, was built on.
And you know what gets me? When white people try to be funny and condescending, I apologize for my white privilege. Like they don't understand that simply because you're white. I'm not saying that you're rich because you're white, but simply because you're white, you have an advantage. They want to act like, I might white, and put it in quotations. Like, get the freak out of here.
Was that this country was built exclusively for white people. That's a fact. It always was. They don't say that. They didn't openly state it, but obviously it's true. And that's how white privilege works. A white person today in 2020 can go jogging down the fucking street, can walk into a house in construction, and not be hunted down and fucking lynched in the fucking street. That shit doesn't...
Exactly. But people want to say, oh, it wasn't about race. He just wasn't supposed to be there. Who are you to say where somebody's supposed to be just because you don't know the reason why they're there? For all we know, he could have been, part of the construction crew, and he may have left something or anything. White people have the privilege of having the benefit of the doubt. Black people don't. They automatically assumed, oh, well, he fit the description of, do you know how many times they've done that to my brother Nick? I could be sitting up in here saying justice for Nicholas Draper right now. Because cops have pulled him over. People have, you look like you fit the description of somebody that's been committing crime. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Fucking happened. A 12-year-old boy, Tamir Rice, playing with a little toy gun. If that had been a white kid, the cop would have said, hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Yep.
Instead of racing to a fucking park, jump out of the car and execute a young child. Emmett Till, going back 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Come on.
All he did was walk into a fucking store and the white lady lied and said he's harassing me.
Yep.
Lynched. This is how white supremacy works. And the other way white supremacy works, and what we're indoctrinated to do from birth, all of us, no matter who you are, if you are white, you are taught this shit, and you're taught it either directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, you're taught it. And you're taught it by all kinds of different ways, all kinds of different messages, but it's taught. And there's all kinds of proof that it's taught. But we're taught to not give a fuck about our brothers and sisters that are black and brown. To not give a fuck about anybody outside of white. That's why that screaming silence you hear, or that you don't hear, from white folks, when there's lynchings, and when there's huge, crazy injustices happening. In 2015...
You know what you know what you do here? Instead of a outcry for what happened, the injustice, you hear, what about black on black crime? You hear, Black Lives Matter doesn't matter if it's two black people killing each other. Deflection.
Black people were 5 times more likely, unarmed black people were 5 times more likely to die from being killed by the police than white people.
Facts.
Today, I think it's 2.5.
Unarmed.
That's crazy. They're being lynched. If they're not being lynched by the police, they're being lynched by white, Trump-loving, Christian, white motherfuckers. And by the way, it's always been Christians, white Christians, that's behind this shit. Mm-hmm. The Roman Catholic Church.
I told y'all and I was not joking, I contacted the KKK in an attempt to join using my white girl voice. And they told me it was a Christian organization. Yes. A hate extremist group is a Christian organization. That's a contradiction.
Church started the whole goddamn thing. Look it up, folks. They started the whole fucking thing. The indigenous genocide, the black Holocaust, the Atlantic slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. It was a Roman Catholic Church supporting all that shit. And if you look at today, look at the people who killed Amaud Arbery. Christians, white Christians. They're racist. White Christians are largely racist and fucking hypocrites. White Jesus has been used to kill.
I'm gonna tell you another thing that white people don't experience. Just the fear of being black in an all-white environment. Y'all have never. Now, some of y'all may experience that being white in an all-black environment. But I remember Tyler Junior College. That's where I went when I was 18. Across the street is a whole white neighborhood, right? I stepped into this church not knowing that it was all white. Got in that motherfucker, I was the only black person. And I remember feeling like, oh my God, something gonna happen to me here. Like, I don't belong here because they weren't even clapping when the pastor made a point. You know how black people, yes, pastor, yes, sir. You know how black people do, just yelling the whole time, heckling, right? White people don't do that. They quiet. Ain't no praise break. Dun, 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 ain't none of that. It's quiet. And this old white couple invited me to sit with them. I'll never forget it. They asked me, about me. I told them I was in college. They said, what are you going for? I said, radio, television, broadcast. And they even was like, I know some people in the thing. Maybe I can get you an internship. That's what I'm talking about. Make me feel welcome, God darn it. Because I thought that I was going to be the next motherfucking who got hung, hanged, whatever. But this guy spit nothing but facts. You can't be mad at him. And I'm a Christian. I consider myself a Christian, although I hate labels. I believe in God. I will say that forever. I'm not finna bash Jesus. That's what I'm not gonna do.
Millions of people, indigenous people, and it's still going on today. And I'm not against Christianity. I'm against the way Christianity has been used. And I'm against white Jesus. White Jesus is a fucking lie. Even the Bible says Jesus wasn't fucking white. It's all fucking lie. So all you white Christians out there that are racist, fuck you.
Uh-oh.
You fucking low down fucking hypocrite.
Uh-oh.
Check yourself. Check your fucking racism.
Check yourself.
And all the other white people in the world that remain silent. You're complicit. You're guilty. The only reason racial injustice and white supremacy thrives is because of the collective silence of fucking white people.
Speaking of thrive, go back to the video I just did reading the Chris Watts fan mail. They blame thrive. White people also have the advantage of getting the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the legal system. Oh, remember that dude, that dude who killed them people drunk and driving over here in Texas? Oh, affluenza. They create conditions to justify bad behavior for white people, right? Remember the song back in the day? Nigger kills a nigger and a nigger goes free. Nigger kills a white electricity. Meaning, you kill another black person? We'll let you off the hook. Black lives don't matter. Kill a white person, you're gonna fry.
Just like me. That look like me. That won't say a goddamn thing when horrible fucking things are happening to our brothers and sisters.
Right. But will speak up if a dog gets killed by a cop. When a cop put his knee on that dog and killed him, they out there rallying. Oh, look at them looter, they're looting. But y'all was stealing toilet tissue and motherfucking hand sanitizing masks out the store and hoarding it 2.5 months ago. And y'all place value on an inanimate object, a thing, more than a black life. Y'all more concerned and outraged over people looting than what this man did on camera to George Floyd in broad daylight.
Racial disparities in every fucking institution in our fucking nation, and not a goddamn one of you give a fuck. Not one of you. If you do give a fuck, send in the fucking comment if you're white. But the majority of you, you know you don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
You know it to be true. I don't know, is it 95%?
And the crazy part is, sir, whoever you are, that they'll give a if they can get some type of publicity from it. Or if they can get some type of clout off of it, like the Kardashians and all of them. Well, they love the BBC. They might care about black people. They trying to save another black dick they can get pregnant by. But the majority of white people, I stand with black people, putting up the fist, just like Biden. Biden, no, I care about black. You didn't care about black people while you was the vice president for 8 years. But since it's about to be re-election time, now you care about black people all the time. You see what I'm saying? Opportunist.
Is it 90? Is it 99%? I don't know. But it's a lot of you. You don't give a fuck. And it's that fucking silence that is consent. That is why innocent people are being fucking killed in the street.
I know Bill Cosby wish silence was consent, or he wouldn't be in jail for raping. Cause let me chill.
Check yourself, white America. Once again, check yourself. Check your fucking silence. Being Not racist is not enough. You have to be anti-racist.
Yes.
Because if you're not, then your silence is getting innocent people killed. Yeah, you want your privilege. Yeah, you're worried about karma because of all the nasty shit we've done to black people. You know what we've done to black people, white America. You know goddamn well what we've done. And that's what you're fucking
and then they'll say stuff like, my family didn't own slaves. I never owned slaves. So that disregards everything that black people going through because your family didn't own slaves and and you didn't own slaves and your family wasn't racist and you're not racist. Let's ignore everything else that's going around because I'm not racist, so white people must not be racist.
We've all been indoctrinated and taught as white people.
I have black friends.
Don't care about black people. Protect your own interests. When I was a little boy, I was told to lock the fucking doors every time we went through the goddamn black neighborhood. All that shit was taught to us. Everybody. What we have done to black people is dirty. And it's still happening, and you still don't care. So once again, white people, check yourself morally.
His name is Dixie Whitey. All right. Dixie Whitey. Let me see if Hazel Eden finally had the darn baby. Boy, I felt like she was pregnant as long as an elephant. Congrats to her baby. But I'm a little bothered by the fact that the baby just was born and I already got an Instagram page. It's like, let the baby be a baby. But whatever, do your thing. I'm about to follow this person named Dixie Whitey. Let me show y'all his account. All right, I just followed this guy, Dixon D. White. This guy, that's the video that he made. Wow. Amaud Arbery, History and White Silence. Now, I think this guy is genuine. I really do. I truly believe that. I don't believe he's using this to get clout. We need more like you, sir.